What's going on? So we back again. Hope everybody doing good today. So make sure you guys subscribe, like this video, share the video, and as always, support the channel. Become part of the team. Make sure you guys leave some comments in there, and we're gonna keep bringing this content to you. So, serious issue. I know some people might have laughed at the title, but this is very serious. And I actually have experienced this myself, okay? But sexual addiction is real. People think, oh, that person's just a whore. All they want to do is screw, screw, screw. Sexual addiction is real. It's a real thing. It's a real, verifiable, medically diagnosed problem for men or for women. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the race. It's global. Goes all around the world. Hits people from all different nationalities, countries. Doesn't matter. Sexual addiction is real. And what we're going to talk about today is we're just going to talk about some of the things, some of the signs that you need to be aware of. And I'll share with you some of the things that I experienced as I was battling through sexual addiction. Because it's a serious thing. Um, when you just have obsessive sexual thoughts. When someone's dealing with sexual addiction, they just find themselves persistently thinking about sex all the time. Sexual fantasies, um, all these things, it interferes with your other responsibilities, whether it be you have kids, whether whether it be a job, whether it be you need to be at an appointment, you could be a coach on a team, whatever. It interferes with what you're supposed to be doing. Another thing is just spending excessive time on sex, meaning you seeking out sexual partners all the time. Like just on a regular, if you're just seeking out sexual partners, that doesn't necessarily mean you have a sexual addiction. It's the normal human behavior. But if someone is spending excessive amounts of time and energy on sex, it might be a red flag. This might include things like attempting to acquire sex, having sex, being sexual. That's it becomes excessive, right? Just going out on a date, find somebody attractive, you want to have sex with them, that's normal. It's all good, man or woman. And again, this is not a man problem, it's not a female, it cuts across gender lines, okay? Both men and women can be addicted to sex. It happens all the time. People out there suffering right now from sexual addiction, and they don't know it, and they don't know how to deal with it, right? Um, Another thing is feeling ashamed, or you start getting depressed. So if your need for sex crosses over into addiction, um, you start experiencing anxiety, shame, depression, and in a lot of cases, regret. That's one of the things I used to deal with. Just feeling the regret, like, man, I shouldn't have did that. Why did I do that? But it kicks back in, whether it be the next day or it could be the same day. That activity, that behavior, it just it just continues because your thoughts are just peppered with sex all the time. And there are other activities For instance, you know, a addict may fixate on sex to the point where they have difficulty engaging in just regular activities. They fall behind on responsibilities in school, work, personal lives. They're socially withdrawn. They prioritize sexual behavior over forms of relaxation or hobbies. Like they may go on a vacation, and before they go on that vacation, which was in my case, I would always scope out how I'm going to get involved in some sexual activity. I'm already looking on the different apps, you know, whether it be Plenty of Fish, Match.com, Tinder. You start looking, you're looking for the girls, you're trying to see, you already trying to make your connections because instead of going and just enjoying the freaking beach or enjoying the mountains, you're out chasing pussy. Or in ladies' cases, you out chasing dick. It's a serious addiction. And, you know, one of the main things where you feel like you have a sexual addiction is masturbating excessively. So while masturbating can be healthy, it's a healthy way to explore sexuality and express your sexual drive. Excessive masturbation can be a sign of a sexual addict. So it might look like something like this. So let's say a guy may masturbate, once a week, a couple times a week maybe. It's no big deal, Guys, we stay on the ready, so that's not a big deal. You wake up and you know, dig hard, you ready to, and nobody's around, you pop one off. Okay, that's not the end of the world. But when it gets to a point where you're masturbating multiple times a day, you got sexual addiction. You got a sexual addiction. When you get to the point where you're masturbating multiple times a day, whether it be when you get up in the morning and maybe you have to go to work and masturbate in the bathroom, and then you come home and you masturbate again, you got a problem. You need to go see a motherfucking doctor. Because your motherfucking ass is sexually addicted, and I can say that because that was me. Motherfucker was addicted to that shit, right? If I wasn't getting some pussy, I was masturbating. And that shit wasn't healthy. I could feel it. It really wasn't healthy. It drains you, you know, but that urge it's overpowering. And the same thing for ladies. In, I have a group that, and one of the way I actually got over the shit was I joined a group. I joined the Sex Addicts Anonymous group. And if anybody out there is suffering from, um, sexual addiction by any of these things that I talked about, you need to join your local group. They're in every major city, but if you have to travel a little bit, it's worth it. A lot of times they're usually like in a church on an off day from the church, and you go in and it'd be like a 12-step program like they have for alcoholics and substance abuse, but it's for sexual addicts. And you go in there and you hear all kind of shit, you know, and it puts in perspective for you like how fucked up you are. And it's the fact. You fucked up when you got a sexual addiction because it fucks your whole shit up. But you know, when you're going around and you go to some of these meetings, and that's when you start hearing the women talking about always being horny. You know, they would wear these little things, these little vibrators inside their panties, and they have these little remotes, and they would just be getting off at work. They'd be sitting at their desk. You wouldn't even know they're over there coming, right? They're just over there having fucking orgasms. Nobody would ever know. Or they go in the fucking bathroom and they'll have these fucking little dildos stuck up in them. They fucking vibrate. They go in the bathroom and fucking get off. They go sit in their car at lunch, whatever the situation is. It doesn't matter, man or woman. But it really helped me out and helped me understand and get over what was really driving this shit. And then it started from childhood. I won't go all into it right now. Like, didn't have anything to do with any molestation or anything like that. It just, you know, when I was younger, shit, I had access to these fucking Playboy magazines and access to some fucking porn. And that just drove and brought out some shit in me. And it just stayed with me for a long time. But, you know, when you're young and you don't really think you have an addiction, but you really, you know, there's a lot of people that just don't realize it till they get a little bit older. But you go to some of these meetings and you will hear stories, and it doesn't matter what age. There are people in there at 22, 23 years old, all the way up to fucking 70 years old. It doesn't matter. If you don't get help, it will stay with you. But these meetings, they did help. You know, it's a way to really be able to step back. And when you hear these stories, it allows you to put a microscope on yours and say, you know what? That shit is fucked up. I'm gonna stop that. You know, because it's not like it's medication you can take for it. It's all up here. It's a mental thing. It's a mental disorder. And you have to go through it, and at times you have to let it run its course. But in the meantime, because it's not like you can just stop. People say, well, why don't you just stop? No. Especially now with the shit that's on the internet, you got porn at the tap of a fucking button. So you need help. And again, anyone wants to talk about this, feel free to reach out to me at Mr. Danny Moscow at gmail.com. You can hit me on Instagram at Danny Moscow. I'm also out there on Twitter. But shoot me a comment. You know, reach out to me. Let me know. Because if you're out there suffering from sexual addiction, I know it's not fun. I won't say I'm fully cured, but I will say I am head and shoulders above where I was in this journey. But as easy as it is to fall into it, because it's easy to fall, it's like a fucking well. You walk and you just fall into it. You fall into a well, you fucking get wet. And when you get into the world of sex and porn and all the fucking sex parties, like I used to live out in LA. I lived out in LA for 4 years. Let me tell you, Vegas is not Sin City. Vegas is not Sin City. LA is Sin City. There are fucking parties 24 hours a day, no matter what you're into, whether it's music, whether it's drugs, or whether it's sex. And let me tell you, it's going down in some of the fucking best places in LA you would ever think of. The most high-end fucking places. Mansions in Beverly Hills. You know, you can be in Santa Monica. You could be down in fucking Long Beach, downtown LA. Doesn't matter. You're in fucking multi-million dollar fucking penthouses in downtown LA in the fucking at fucking 12 o'clock noon, and sex parties are going down. I've been to sex parties out in Beverly Hills, fucking multi-million dollar mansions. I used to be in the entertainment industry, so I used to get invited to all these fucking parties. Every party you go to, if it's some kind of release party or something, it's always an after party. And let me tell you, it goes down at these after parties. First, the motherfucking drugs get down, and then there's always going to be a sex party afterwards. If you're not into it, you just fucking leave. But the shit's going down. I mean, motherfuckers that you would never think that's into that shit. And then they got the extreme shit where motherfuckers are into like the bondage and all that shit. I was never into like anything like that. But they have the bondage, um, all that kind of shit, and all their little fetishes, you know, but it goes down in LA. It's not all beaches and sunshine all the time. It's a lot of fucking going on in LA. I'm just trying to tell you. So the shit's real. Um, if y'all like this video, I can do a video on just the LA parties. Y'all wouldn't believe the shit, you know. And the motherfuckers that were there, same motherfuckers y'all see on TV, same motherfuckers y'all listen to on the fucking radio. These motherfuckers out there on some wild shit. It be going down now. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I don't know how Vegas got the title Sin City. That shit's going down in LA. You know, if you're a sexual addict, a sex addict, don't go out there. Because it's not about like Vegas has the whole the hookers and prostitution kind of thing going on. Out there, you don't really have that. It's just more or less people with common interests, and that would be, like they always say, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So, y'all make sure y'all subscribe, like the video if you liked it, support the channel, and share the video. And we'll see you guys next time. I'm out.